How do actors get cast in things like Stranger Things, Harry Potter, Matilda? Let's talk about it. My name's Laura and I'm an agent and a performance coach based in Northern Ireland, and I'm here to demystify the industry and try and help people understand a little bit more about how it works. When TV shows like Harry Potter announce their casting or Stranger Things wrap their finale and they start sharing behind the scenes, like where it all started and the actors doing their self-tapes, you see comments on these videos all the time being like, I really want to do this, how can I get seen for things like this? And I always forget that people don't know. When you're just starting out, you just don't know. Like, I always forget how that felt when I was younger. My parents aren't in the industry, they weren't in the industry, and they didn't have a clue. They were doing their best for me, but they didn't have a clue. So I'm hoping that this helps people understand a little more about the industry, how it works and how you can get started. So today I'm just going to talk a wee bit about Spotlight. Spotlight is known as the home of casting in the UK. That is where most of the castings come through. That's not to say that these castings aren't posted elsewhere, and sometimes casting directors will decide to go to an open call, like Harry Potter was an open call as well as being on Spotlight, but it is the main hub of casting. So in order to be seen for things that are on Spotlight, and a lot of things are Spotlight exclusive, you need to have a profile on Spotlight, you need to have a membership with them. Now, if you are a young performer, you cannot get on Spotlight unless you're with a Spotlight registered agent. So you need to get an agent first. That will be a separate video. I'll talk all about that as well. But if you're an adult performer and you're returning to the industry after doing some work and maybe leaving the industry and you have professional credits, you can apply to be on Spotlight. You can self-represent yourself until you find an agent. You won't see all the castings, but you will see quite a bit, and at least you'll be on there. And you can be seen on a section of Spotlight, the agency, where we look at actors who are seeking an agent, seeking representation, and then agents can contact you there as well. If you're at drama school, then don't panic, because in your final term or your final year, you will join Spotlight as a graduate performer. Maybe you'll sign with an agent at your showcase. That's great. You'll add them to your profile. If you don't, you can be self-represented. That's what I did. And I'll talk about why maybe in a separate video, because I know there's a lot of pressure on graduates because they're like, I need to get an agent. I need to get an agent. And whilst, yes, it's super helpful having an agent, it's not always the best thing. And we'll talk about why separately. So if you're on Spotlight, you have a page basically where it's got your name, it's got, if you're a young performer, it will have your date of birth. That's for licensing and legal reasons. If you are over the age of 18, it doesn't show your age. It will be playing age, so you will put in what age you can play down to and what age you could play up to. Please don't make this like 30 years. That's not really believable, but we'll talk about the profile after. It will have your hair color, your eye color, your hair length, any facial hair, tattoos, things like that. And your bases, it's really important. If you are based mainly in Northern Ireland, say, but you also have a base in London or Dublin or Scotland, and you can go there and stay there whilst you're working on a job, please, please, please put your base on your profile. This is also where you put your headshots. I would say between 3 and 5. You don't really need an awful lot as long as they're strong. You don't want 3 or 5 of the same. That's a separate video again, headshots. You can put your show reel on it. That is another separate video. Please don't make your show reel 5 minutes long. And you can put voice reel if you have a voice reel, and that could be singing or it could be voice over in terms of commercials and things like that. And you will also then have your credits. So that will be pretty much your CV, your theatre credits, your TV, your commercial, everything. You can categorize them in different ways. You choose that and you put the most recent first. You also have a section for skills, accents you can speak, languages you can speak, skills you have in terms of sports you can play. Can you ride a horse? Can you drive a car? Can you drive a van? All these things need to be on there. Can you swim? And you can also put if you're highly skilled. That's important because maybe you can swim in a swimming pool, but you can't do open water competitive swimming. So please read it all and make sure that you've got things marked on correctly, especially if you're self-represented, because you will be putting yourself forward for these things. People will be looking at your profile. Hopefully your agent will know you well enough to be able to put in the comment box when they're submitting you, but just be really careful. So when your CV is all on Spotlight, that's essentially what it is, a page that holds your CV. You are then submitted by your agent or by yourself for jobs. So you will see casting breakdowns come through. You will be able to read what they're looking for. Please be careful when you're looking at this. Sometimes it's easy to overlook that you need to speak a second language, or that they need to have a certain look, or that they need to be based within 10 miles of the M25. Like, just read everything. Read everything about the project. Look at the fee. Sometimes there's things on there that are low paid, and it's up to you. Just be aware of what is going on. Do you need to have a base there? Are they going to pay for accommodation? All those kinds of things. Are they looking for people who are only available in person tomorrow? If so, then don't submit yourself if you can't get there tomorrow, in case they call you. So you will be submitted, and then you wait. You will get an email to say if you're getting a self-tape or an in-person audition, and then it goes from there. But that is essentially how you get seen for these things. And that is such a glossed over quick introduction to it. Obviously there's more details to it. It breaks off in different ways. Castings come through in different ways. There's different ways to audition as well. But that's pretty much the starting point. If you are a parent whose child maybe wants to go into this industry, if you're an adult who's maybe looking to segue into this industry, then that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to be making more videos on this about more things. So if you've got questions, please put them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer and help as best as I can.